welcome to Fantasy Filmball's coverage of the 37th Annual Virginia Film Festival. My name is Dyl. I know you've seen the title of the video. If what you care about most is that Mikey Madison Q&A, the link is in the description. It's all time-stamped. You can hop right there. It won't hurt my feelings whatsoever. However, for those who do want to hear my thoughts on this festival, because I think it is a wonderful, a fantastic one. I've been going ever since 2018. I've seen so many fantastic, so many phenomenal films, and this year will be no different. I will be seeing between 12 and 15 movies over the course of the next few days, actually here in person in Virginia. I saw a handful of them ahead of time. Those were at the Philadelphia Film Festival, the London Film Festival. My reactions, my thoughts, those movies will be in the title cards up above. But tonight's opening night, there's one movie showing. It's the movie that you saw in the title. It's the movie that everyone cares about, Anora, Sean Baker's Palme d'Or winning comedy. I have seen it already at Philadelphia. I found it to be pretty fantastic. I just had one small minor issue with the film. I'm interested to see how my thoughts are on it tonight after a rewatch, especially because Mikey Madison is going to be here in person. Does that really like tilt or alter my overall feelings on the film? Who knows? But without further ado, let's dive into the 37th Annual Virginia Film Festival. Alright, so I figured we're back here now. Why don't I give you a rundown of all the films I am seeing here, because, you know, you want to subscribe, you want to stay up to date with these vlogs to hear my thoughts on these films and their awards chances. So tonight, obviously opening night, Anora. We got that all cleared up. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm seeing On Becoming a Guinea Fowl and a Q&A with Adam Elliott, the director of Memoirs of a Snail. Matt, he's super high on this movie. He loves it. I hope I love it as well. Friday is where my schedule can kind of go in two separate directions. There's a 10 a.m. screening of Flow. I'm hoping to attend that. If I can't make that, I'm going to be seeing Amadeus, Bird, and The Girl with the Needle. I've never seen Amadeus before. It's one of the most iconic, one of the best films of all time. Very excited to see that one inside of a cinema. And I'll actually be joined by a channel guest. You know him from our Maestro Best Picture Revisiting episode, Akshat. He's going to be here in person. I'm excited to finally, meet him face to face. And then for Saturday, we're going to start the day off with the animated film Glassworkers on Matt's recommendation. Then we're going to see Presence, Soderbergh's new film, Heard Great Things. It sounds so up my alley. Then we will see All We Imagine Is Light. And then to conclude that day, again, we have options. We can see Night Bitch with a Q&A with the film's producer and a packed, sold-out crowd, or I can see Canada's submission for the Academy Awards, Universal Language. And then that leads us to our final day, Sunday, here at the Virginia Film Festival. And if I see Flow ahead of time, I will be seeing the Brian Tyree Henry starring The Fire Inside. If not, I'll go to Flow. And then we'll see The End, Jam's favorite film. Excited to finally lay eyes on that one. And we'll close out the festival with the all-controversial, pivotal, Oscar-predicting film, The Room Next Door. Winner of the Golden Lion. I can finally have a say if I do think this film is truly just mid and it won the award just because, Almodovar's boys with the jury over there, or if this film stands on its own and it's really good and really fantastic. That's my lineup. I'm excited. Let's dive in. Got the tickets, got the pass. Time to go in.
From director Sean Baker is having an extraordinary festival season run that has seen it earn top honors around the world, including becoming the first American film to win the prestigious Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival since 2011. A brand new Virginia Film Festival award, the Impresario Award, to Neon, the independent film and production company behind a string of truly remarkable films since its founding in 2017, including Parasite, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Spencer, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Anatomy of a Fall, Triangle of Sadness, and now Anora. What an honor it is to have one of Neon's founders and its CEO, Tom Quinn, here with us tonight to accept this award on Neon's behalf.
I'm super honored to be here. Thank you, Jody Cabasso. Thank you, LETTERBOXD, for inviting Neon to participate in this gorgeous theater. I cannot think of a better place. I love that marquee. It's got neon all over it. Until Neon, I'd never won a Palme d'Or, and I had no plan of ever winning one. So I am as surprised as anybody else. But credit to Cannes, and credit to the juries there, and credit to the competition lineup. It's filled with auteurs and cinephiles just like us. But the only stat that matters to me and my team is that we have managed to release 119 films to date of some of the best cinema the world has to offer. A veritable 12 decalogues worth of some of the best cinema I've ever seen. That's why myself and now 54 other colleagues at Neon, we've grown tenfold, are the luckiest bastards in the business. We get to do exactly what we love. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to the lovely Mikey Madison.
Hi, Virginia Film Festival. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I am so in love with my film, Anora. I play an incredibly spunky, bright woman, and I can't wait to introduce you to her and for you to experience our film. Thank you all again for being here. I hope you enjoy.
This award recognizes the craft, creativity, preparation, and dedication behind an actor's exceptional performance. Oftentimes, we give these honors before our audience sees the film, but in this case, you all just were witness to Mikey's brilliance. The undeniable, beating heart of the film is Mikey Madison. Her performance is so potent, unforgettable, and powerful. This is a role that is unbelievably complex, and Madison proves she's more than up to the task at every turn. And as with all genius, this is no accident. It comes from hours and hours of preparation, dedicating and immersing oneself in the role. And if you need proof, look no further than her learning Russian for this role, taking intensive dancing and twerking lessons for this role, spending countless hours in exotic clubs for this role, living in Brighton Beach, all in the service of giving a faithful performance. Mikey Madison is a full-on supernova, and something tells me that tonight's award, and that something is probably common sense, won't be the biggest stage that she'll be accepting Best Actress hardware on in the coming months. In a moment, she'll be joined on stage by Marcus Jones, awards editor at IndieWire. But for now, please join me in giving a huge Virginia welcome to Mikey Madison, our 2024.
Virginia Film Festival for recognizing me and my film, Anora. I'm honored to be able to premiere our festival in so many incredible locations all over the world, Virginia included. To me, Neon is a pioneer in the world of indie cinema, uplifting and championing unique filmmakers with visionary stories. I'm honored to be a part of their filmography. Thank you as well to my incredible director, Sean Baker, for taking a chance on me and giving me the collaboration of a lifetime. In this film, I play Anora, or Annie, a woman with a fiery fighting spirit and an undeniable hopefulness that carries her throughout the film. Making this film and collaborating with so many passionate creatives was reinvigorating and really reminded me what I love about filmmaking. the drive and craving to tell stories that move people, to create something meaningful and bring people together like we all are now, and collectively feel the energy that is present when sitting in a theater together and experiencing a film. I love being a part of this, and I love my film, Anora. I'm very, very happy and honored that I was able to share it with you all. So thank you again.
Now you've had the experience throughout this year of more and more people seeing it, and now it's out in some theaters. And so I wonder, what has it felt like now to see sort of not just festival audiences, but general audiences get to experience and fall in love with Anora? I guess, for example, like, did you see some Anoras out there for Halloween or things like that?
Oh my gosh, no, I didn't get to see any of that. I would love to, though. It's been really special. I always knew how much this film meant to me and what an impactful experience it was to play such an incredible character. So the film was always something that was special to me, and I think I knew no matter what that it would always be at least one person's favorite film. And I think that it's a lovely feeling that people are enjoying the film and feeling the love and passion that we poured into it.
Yeah. And I mean, watching this film, we're left with such a heart-wrenching emotional moment, but I think in playing Anora, there's so much physical aspects to it as well.
Yeah, I think I definitely did more physical preparation for this character than I ever had before. She's a dancer, and I wanted her to be a very seasoned professional dancer with a lot of tricks up her sleeve. I wanted it to seem like she's been dancing for at least a few years. And I myself am not a dancer at all, but I'm a very stubborn person, and there were certain things that I wanted to accomplish. And I realized early on how difficult dancing is. It's one of the most physically challenging things I've ever attempted. Very painful as well, I realized. And so I really buckled down and dedicated many months to trying to cultivate my skills. But not only did I want to accomplish certain pole tricks, I wanted to know how to give a lap dance. I wanted to know how to twerk. I wanted to have that physicality, that dancer's physicality. It made me feel different in my body. I was more in tune with a sexuality that I didn't have before. And so it made me walk differently. It made me move differently. I looked different. And I think all of those things are pieces of the puzzle that make a character, but it was definitely a very impactful part of it. I mean, that sequence was such an important one. I was very committed to doing all my own stunts, and so with that, I think came a lot of rehearsal, lots of choreographing, because obviously we wanted to be safe, and so I needed to know where I was going to be at each moment, and so Sean and I and Anora really spent time mapping out the space, understanding how to get from A to B and how to use this incredible mansion to the best of its ability, because it's such an incredible location and set. So yeah, but in terms of any training, there's not really anything that can prepare you to do something like that. I knew where I was going to be, and we would rehearse everything half speed, walking through, and then you just throw yourself into it, and all of a sudden you're fighting this grown man, and it was very intense. You know, as the actress that's playing Annie, I'm aware that some of the situations are like quite absurd because of the intense nature of it. But as the actress, as Annie, she is fighting for her life. She doesn't know what's going to happen to her physically, and her life is being ripped away from her as well. She's fighting for her marriage, and so emotionally I really needed to stay in a very specific place and keep that feisty energy. Like, she is so willing to jump into a fight physically or verbally at any moment. And so I never wanted her to stop talking. I always wanted her to be fighting and going. Even as I'm talking about it right now, I'm like talking with my hands a lot like her. But yeah, I mean, that sequence was a hell of a thing to shoot.
I get it. I'm like ready to throw down for it too.
I'm such a fan of Sean's work, and I've always recognized his specific style of comedy, which is really rooted in reality and is mostly situational. And so I think I understood his sensibilities from the beginning. And I think all of us just had an awareness that some of the scenes would appear to be absurd, but obviously I think that the only way to pull that off is to have as grounded of a performance as possible. And so I think we were all committed to the moment, but willing to go as far as we needed to physically to make it work. So I think she's a very intuitive person. Well, first of all, she's a sex worker, and sex workers are incredibly intuitive people. You have to be to live in that kind of profession. And so I think that she is aware at times that it's over, but she's been seduced by and has fallen in love with the idea of this life. And I think that she's quite hopeful as well, and the hopefulness overtakes her sense of reality at times. I think that she is willing to fight tooth and nail for the life that she feels she deserves and that she's earned. And so she'll go as far as possible to get there. Lots of improvisation. I mean, Sean wrote an incredible script, and it really created this amazing base for all of us to work off of. But I think the thing about improvisation is again, like trying to be intuitive as an actor, to understand when it's necessary or when something is needed. But Sean was so willing to be collaborative with me and the other actors, and Annie is such a firecracker. I wanted her to be super quick, constantly going and talking and saying something. She's not thinking about what she's saying before she says it. She goes with it. She's a free spirit in that sense. And so for me, I didn't hold back, but I knew that Sean would always be there to reel me back in if needed. And he definitely was, but I think we were just really on the same page. And you know, Sean would write more like description paragraphs or description sentences for a scene, like Annie does this, and then as an actress I have to be like, okay, well, what does that mean? I have to flesh out that scene myself with the other actors in improvisation. Or I remember there was a line in the script that said, like, Annie shows off her dancer's flexibility, and I was like, what does that mean? But then I was like, oh wait, I did all of this amazing dance training for multiple months. Why don't I help choreograph a striptease that Annie does for Yvonne? I'll choose an outfit and a song, and I presented it to Sean, and I was like, what about this for that scene? And he was like, great, let's make it a music video. So it was really collaborative in that sense, and I mean, the entire beginning of the film is all improvised when Annie is talking to clients at the club. So yeah, I'm lucky to have worked with a director that was so open to that. Well, I started a television show when I was 16, and I had very, very little acting experience. I essentially knew nothing. I had no idea what it was like to be on a set. I didn't know any of the ins and outs of that job. And so it was, I kind of like to think of my experience on the show I did as sort of like my film school, my college, my acting class, because I think it created a base for everything that I was able to learn. And so I think that it taught me a lot about discipline, just how to work with other people, and it was really impactful for me, especially at such a young age, to have that experience. And then also to be on a show, it spanned like 5 seasons over 7 years, and so that's a majority of my career as an actress. I was able to grow with my character and even get to a point where I'm like, I know so much about her, but I'm still going to leave room to discover more. And I think that was, it was a big part of the process of me falling in love with acting and getting more into film.
Alright, so I want to keep this episode pretty limited because you have my initial thoughts on Anora the other day. I'm sure Matt and myself are going to do a full review on this movie. And I want this to be more about the Mikey Madison Q&A and the recognition for Neon as a whole. But what I will say is, having my expectations now, I guess, lower, knowing what Anora actually is, I enjoy this film immensely more. Anora is hilarious. It tugs at your heartstrings and it has this insanely kinetic, gripping energy from the opening until the conclusion of the movie. Mikey Madison, I said this last time, I'll say it again, especially after hearing the Q&A of what all went into this performance, is giving a commanding tour de force that maybe last time I said, like, oh, I don't see the Oscar appeal, but now I get it. All the preparation that went into this role, she commands the screen, and you feel the weight in her performance, and you feel everything that she has to go through throughout the runtime. And speaking of the runtime, last time I felt the length, this time not as much. The opening third has so much insanely good energy. It's so funny. Mark Eidelstein, who plays Ivan in this film, is a comedic genius. He is my MVP of the supporting cast, but Yuri Borisov does deliver a very good role in here as well. I'm not going to go too much into the film because I don't want to spoil this movie. It's out in theatrical release now, limited. It's going out wide next weekend. Go see Anora. There's a home invasion scene that is one of the scenes of the year. It's so funny. It's so engaging. I went with my mom and my grandma, and they really liked and really enjoyed the movie, even though there's so much sex. It's worth your time, it's worth your money, and it's worth all the Oscar acclaim it's going to get this year. All right, so I just said that I watched this movie with my mom, with my grandma. They really liked it, so why don't I let them tell you why they liked it? So up first, Nini, why'd you like Anora?
Well, I haven't laughed that much in a movie in ages and ages.
In ages, okay.
Yes.
The acting?
The acting was astounding, especially when you saw what Mikey Madison was really like when she came out for the Q&A. She's all soft-spoken and sweet. But in the movie, she was commanding, demanding, mouthy, fighting. She was hilarious.
I know, that's what I said the first time I saw the movie too. I was like, oh, it's fine, but when you really see her in person, the whole element changes. But now for my mom, what did you think?
I thought it was hilarious. It wasn't at all what I was expecting, so was very happily surprised with just the whole narrative. Like my mom said, laughed the entire time, was not expecting it to be comedic, so yeah, great all around.
See, Anora, it's a movie for the whole family. But with that being said, that is the conclusion of episode 1 here at the 37th Annual Virginia Film Festival. Until tomorrow, this is Fantasy Filmball. I'm Dylan. Bye.